welcome. Today we're actually going to do some intuition work today, and we teach intuition in a lot of ways, like it's a big piece of our work, but today we're going to give you a really awesome process. It's not ours, we didn't create it, and we'll share all the details in a second, but it's an amazing tool for getting underneath everything to your intuition, to your inner truth, particularly if you're trying to make a decision about something and you're finding it really hard to hear your truth. Like, what is my truth? What is my fear? What are just all the voices in my head? Blah, 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 blah. Like, how do I sort through all those layers and actually then hear my truth around something?
And not from a place of trying to get rid of any of the other layers.
No.
Just sifting through them.
Yeah, being able to just hear them and move through them and hear them and move through them. So this tool is an awesome tool, and you can use it in any area of your life. It's highly recommended. I use it all the time. But
I've often used it with coaching clients and
yeah,
continued to go through it through a whole session.
Absolutely. It's actually insanely powerful to speak out loud. Even if you just speak out loud to yourself as you do the process, you can decide, at least write it. So grab any scrappy piece of paper. It's not like it needs to be in your journal or anything. But so just before we go into the process, the reason that we're bringing this process today, well, besides the fact that it's just an awesome tool, we are also doing this to support anyone who is still on the fence about joining us in Mother Rising Sisterhood, because it closes today, and
The dog just arrived.
The dog just arrived. You get the dog to go. I'll get the dog to go. You can talk just for a second about Mother Rising. But today the doors are closing, and so if you're on the fence, use this process. That's why we're going to take you through this process just to support you. Whatever you decide is perfect, but you don't want to be spending the day going, oh, do I, don't I, you know, countdown. So this is to support you. And if you're not considering Mother Rising Sisterhood at all, but you're here because the topic of the live sounded good, this is an awesome tool. And we welcome you to do it on any topic that works for you. All right, I'm going to get the dog out.
Yeah.
And you can talk for a second.
Okay, so we'll take you through this process. Mother Rising, if you haven't heard of it, and even if you have, it's a membership program where because we've so far, for the last 4 years we've been working together, have been working in really small, high-end groups in our kind of personal interaction. And this is a way for us to work personally with more women. So it's super accessible. The community is already so strong. We haven't actually started the trimester, like we haven't started the live workshops with the coaching and teaching, but already the community space is so powerful, so supportive, so it's already helping mothers to come into their own truth, into their own power, into their...
It's pretty special.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay, so today is not a sales video, but
yes,
just know that if you're here because we sent out an email saying if you're on the fence, let us support you, this is the live for that. And if you're here just because you're looking for a way to create, to get a clearer answer, an intuitive answer on any issue, then you're in the right place too. So let's do the process. Kaya, do you want to... I'll bounce in if there's anything that has to be said, but why don't you do the process?
Yep. Okay, so we call this clearing your clutter. And it's... we learnt it from a woman called Sonia Choquette. I think that's how you say her last name.
Lots of you will have heard of her. She's a big intuition teacher, 20, 30 books, you know. She's cool.
Yeah. So the way it works is first you just tune into what that decision is that you want to make, what that question is that you have been feeling really unsure about. Like maybe there's all these different answers on all the different perspectives to that question, and it just seems too much, too big, too confusing. So tune into that question. What is your question? So it could be, do I join Mother Rising? It could be something completely different. Tune into what your question is. If you want, you can post it in the comments too. And what we're going to do is sift through the layers. The first layer is your mind. Your mind will have so many different things to say about it, and they'll often be contradictory. Your mind will have things to say about why you should do something and also why you shouldn't do something, and why you should ask a completely different question altogether. Your mind is incredibly opinionated and busy on the whole answering of that question.
Mm-hmm.
So the first layer is to just answer until it's fully exhausted. So I'm just explaining what we're doing, and then I'm going to take you through it. And then the next layer is fear and emotional responses. And again, there'll be different layers, all different emotional responses that may seem contradictory, and you want to just exhaust all the fear responses.
It's actually not often until you're doing this process that things come out and you're like, I had no idea that was there. That often happens.
Yeah. Yes. And then under that is where we get to spirit or intuition or inner whisper or soul. So we're going to take you through it now.
Yeah. So you need a piece of paper or something to write on, because that's a better pathway. Don't keep it in the mind, because then you're going to stay on the mind level. So grab anything to write with at all. It doesn't matter if it's like the back of a shopping list. I do that a lot.
And you can also speak it out loud. If you're in a place where you feel comfortable saying it out loud, you can actually speak it because that's incredibly powerful too.
Yeah, definitely. We'll just say this quickly. So when you speak something out loud, the act of sound is a vibrational resonance, right? And that is in common with sensing energy. They line up, there's resonance, there's vibration, there's frequency. When you speak out loud, you hear your truth. Like, it is much clearer than if you were trying to say it in your head, like just going round and round in circles in your mind. In fact, when we do this with clients in either privately or in group settings, but they hear their truth virtually as soon as it comes out their mouth, they're like, oh, there it is. Like, they hear it themselves through the act of speaking. And if they speak it in a circle of women, all the women hear it. Oh, that was your truth. Like, it boom, 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 boom. Everyone can tell straight away. So there is something definitely about speaking it. Do not hold it in your head. At least write it down, because holding it in your head is a labyrinth.
Yeah.
Okay.
So write or speak out loud, or both, the double whammy, your question. And now each time I say mind says, let whatever comes come.
Just write. Let it flow onto the page, or speak out whatever. Don't think about it. Don't analyze it. Don't judge it.
There's no right or wrong. All of the busy mind chatter is welcome to come out. So mind says.
Just write. And good morning to the people joining.
And mind says. And mind says.
And mine probably isn't speaking with very eloquent language, by the way.
You might be in strong agreement, disagreement with
mind.
What mind says.
Yeah, you could. Just let mind say whatever it wants to say.
Everything. Even if one thing and then the next thing are completely like polar opposites. Get all of it out. Anything else mind says. So if we were working like live personally with you, we would
be having conversation.
We would be checking.
Yep.
Is there anything else? Like exhausted, everything that mind says.
Yeah. Get it all out, no matter how crazy, silly, illogical, unrelated, whatever it is. Just mind says, mind says, mind says. What is happening in the mind?
And then take a deep breath. And again, everything's welcome. Fear says. And just write or speak or both.
And allow everything to be valid.
Include the diversity of emotional responses, however irrational they might seem, however unrealistic they might seem. And fear says,
We're kind of quiet today. I hope you're writing, otherwise you're just staring at us while we're staring at you. That would be kind of weird.
fear says, anything else fear says, or any other strong emotional responses, write them all down, let them all come out. And fear says,
It's important to get fear out. And you know what? The mind and the fear layer, there could be truth. There could be snippets of truth in all these layers. Like, we're not saying they're of no value. Please don't think that. This is just about processing and hearing each of your layers.
welcoming all of it out and having it not kind of clog you up.
And just kind of whirl around inside.
So fear says, any of those last remaining fears and emotional responses that you kind of push to the side, bring them out. And then take another deep breath.
And just release and relax. And this next step, before we go here, let's bring them down a little bit. So at this point, take a breath. Notice the objects around you in the room. List 5 of them just mentally. I see that, I see that, I see that. I hear, I smell. Just bring yourself present into the room. And now I want you to take a breath and imagine as you breathe in that all the energy that's up here, thinking, on your breath comes all the way down, right deep into your body, right down low into your pelvis. And each in-breath, I want you to do that, and on the out-breath, I just want you to relax. Bring yourself down into your body, and you'll notice as you do that you move out of head time and into body time. Body time is slower. Allow everything to slow down. Allow your breath to slow down. Breathe and allow there to be a little bit more space.
Kind of imagine yourself surrendering into body time and into your body.
Okay, now, breathe. Okay, back to you.
So now come back and tune in. What is the true question I'm asking right now? And it might be the same question you asked right at the beginning. There might be another one that's coming. Either way is fine.
Or you might have tweaked your question. You might have realised that it's slightly different to what you thought.
There's a slight different spin to it. So ask your true question right now. Write it down or speak it out. And take another deep breath.
Right down into your body, slow, deep.
And Spirit says,
just right.
Just right. Trust what comes.
Allow that pen to keep moving fluidly or allow your voice to keep speaking. Allow all of it to come, no matter how unrelated it seems, whatever is there.
Even if it seems like it doesn't logically answer your questions.
And don't judge or critique it now. Don't ask, is this really spirit? Let go of that for now, just write.
And spirit says,
good morning to the people here who are arriving, because I can see you coming. We're in the middle of a process, but
it would make a lot more sense when you listen to the replay.
it's true.
And something that I have noticed from doing a process like this with quite a few women is sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with this, especially if it's a big decision, sometimes mind and fear come back in, and all you need to do is just go cycle back through it. You can simply go, okay, mind wants to say something else, I'm going to go back up and exhaust mind again, exhaust fear again, and then come back to spirit. And you could do that multiple times if you wanted. Be patient with yourself.
Absolutely. But I would suggest, if mind is critiquing what spirit says, just allow spirit to speak before you flip back again, otherwise you'll go around in circles, which is not super helpful. So if you find your mind jumping in, say, honey, you get another turn in just a sec if you really need to. But for now, just breathe back deep into your body. On the out breath, relax, and spirit says.
And trust what comes.
Okay.
And
do you want to do a little bit of the extension? That underlining bit?
oh, yes. Yeah.
Let's do a little bit of an extension, because sometimes this is helpful. This is a quick one for you to do. Okay, breathe into your body. Just stay in your body here. I want you to read back over what you've written. Preferably read it out loud. Even if it's soft, read it out loud. And as you read every single layer, mind, fear, and spirit, as you're reading, feel into your body what feels true, what feels like there's a knowing, like, okay, that bit, I feel that, I really sense that, there's a trueness to that. Just underline any of the bits of truth that are sitting in there for you. And it may be only one sentence, and that's fine, but just go through and underline. Some of what you wrote will just be getting the current flowing, and that's fine. And some of them will really jump out to you as total truth.
For this moment.
Yeah.
For now.
For now. And that's perfect. Oh, that's the extra little bit.
Yeah, and then the next really powerful part of this is following truth, following spirit, taking action on truth. And sometimes that requires taking a bit of a leap of faith, but really trusting that. The more you do this, the more in tune you are with what really feels like truth for you. And then actually taking action on it, it means that you're living your truth, but it also cements in that experience of really trusting and following your truth. It's like a positive loop that keeps building on itself.
Absolutely. So we can seek our truth as many times as we want. If we never act on our truth, then it becomes harder and harder for us to trust our truth. And when we do act on our truth and make a leap of faith, we're cementing and we're creating a stronger conduit between our truth. When we take a step, it's easier for the energy to come back. Every single time, it's a dance between the two of us. If you hear your truth and never act on it, that conduit becomes shakier and weaker. You never lose it. You can't ever lose connection to your truth totally, but it can get so submerged that it's harder and harder and it's softer and softer. So, whatever issue you decided to do this process on, acting on your truth builds faith and trust and builds the conduit towards your truth. So if you're going to really be seeking your truth on issues, you also want to build your muscles in trust and faith and act in as many small steps as you can on that truth. For sure.
So thank you
That's
for
it.
going through that process with us. And if you have been tuning in to whether you want to join us in Mother Rising and you haven't yet, especially if you've just taken that question through this process with us and you feel a yes to it, then we promise you, we so deeply promise you that it will be worth it for you.
Absolutely.
So come and join us, because today we're closing the cart down and we're just really diving in with the women in there.
This is it. We have a party this afternoon, a live party you could come to and celebrate with us. We're hanging out on our timeline at 4 p.m. Sydney time. Seriously, if it was about Mother Rising and if you got a yes, then this is such a small, easy, accessible way to try it out, to test your truth. Test your truth? Not really test your follow it, but go on that journey.
Take
and
that leap.
See what is there for
Take
you.
a leap of faith. And also to really give to yourself. Because if you're in a whispers of saying, this is for me, and you follow it, that's such a beautiful gift.
Self-love.
Yeah, beautiful gift of self-love, which ripples out absolutely into all of your family.
It's a very small investment. And you know what? You could stay for only a month.
You could.
I'd be sad. Yeah, we'd all be sad. But you could. This is a very low-risk decision. So sit with it.
And join us.
Now, because it's today. Okay, that's it, lovelies. It's so nice to spend more time with you today.
Bye-bye.